Hello everybody. Now in this module we will be looking at cervical spine instrumentation, specifically anterior cervical spine instrumentation. So when do we do anterior cervical spine instrumentation? We have been discussing this in the cervical spine module. We do anterior cervical spine instrumentation in case of cervical disc prolapse or cervical fracture, spine fractures. So the commonly performed procedure is called as the ACDF or anterior cervical discectomy and fusion, or ACCF, which is called as anterior cervical corpectomy and fusion. ACDF means, so as you know, this is the cervical spine. Okay, in this cervical spine you have the vertebrae, and in between each vertebrae you have what is called as the disc. So this is the cervical disc. Whenever there is a disc prolapse and it is pressing the nerve, the current gold standard treatment for disc prolapse, which is not getting better with conservative treatment or with neurological deficit, is anterior cervical discectomy and fusion, wherein you remove the entire disc. You remove this disc, you remove the posterior longitudinal ligament, and you remove the prolapsed fragment which is causing compression on the nerve root or on the cord. In case of cervical myelopathy, it is a different procedure. In case of ossified posterior ligamentum flavum, cervical myelopathy due to OPLL, again you do something called as corpectomy, wherein you remove the entire vertebral body along with the disc above, disc below, and the entire vertebral body, and you remove the ossified posterior longitudinal ligament and decompress the spinal cord. So what are the systems that we commonly use for cervical spine instrumentation? So initially there were various instrumentation systems, but the commonly used one is called as the anterior cervical plates and screws. So let us see one by one. So this is the anterior cervical plate. Okay, so it has various categories. The sizes differ for a single segment to multi segments. So I have taken just one of the plates here, and you can see the curve on the bottom surface of the plate so that it seats over the bone like this perfectly in a snug fashion. Okay, so this is how you place the cervical spine plate. So in this anterior cervical discectomy and fusion, what you do is you have to remove the entire disc. Okay, you will be removing the entire disc, the OPLL. So once you remove the disc, that particular portion will become empty. So you pack that particular portion with autologous bone graft taken from the iliac crest, or you can place something called as the spacer. Spacer means it is just a cage. Okay, for cervical spine there are cages called as cervical spine cage. You place the cage and then you place the plate. So how do you place the plate? The plate has to be in the center. In the AP view, it has to be in the center, and you have something called as the plate holder. So basically you push this plate holder so that it goes and snugly fits inside the plate, and using this plate holder you will be able to place the plate like this or wherever you want. Okay, so this is very important because you will be retracting the esophagus and trachea on this side, the carotid sheath on the opposite side, and you can use this to place the plate. Once the plate is placed, it should not be over the disc. That is very important. You have to confirm the position of the plate, that it is not over the disc and it is over the vertebra. So once the plate is placed, then you have something called as the screws. Okay, so this plate is placed and then you use screws. These screws in the cervical spine are self-drilling and self-tapping screws. So I personally usually do not use awl or probe for anterior cervical spine. You use a screwdriver, and this is a self-drilling, self-tapping screw. So you will be able to insert the screw through the plate into the bone directly with ease without any problem. Okay, this is how you have to, the direction with which you have to insert an anterior cervical spine screw is, the direction at which you have to insert the screw is medial direction. Suppose if you are placing the plate like this, okay, the direction should be like this, because medial direction will give you a better hold. You can see the direction of my screwdriver. Okay, medial direction. Okay, so medial direction will give a better hold because of the triangulation technique. The bone between two screws on either side will be more, and it will resist the pull out of the screw. So basically you will be inserting the screw like this.